mentioned Zuccotti Park a number of times in your speech. Have you been down to visit the protesters yet?
I have not been down
When
there
do you plan to do that?
I don't have a date planned at this moment. My staff had some meetings with them last week, so I don't have a date planned at this moment.
Any reason why you haven't?
What are you doing to address some of the concerns many of the business leaders have about the protesters and the area in terms of...
Well, we've been, last week I had a number of conversations with different executives at Brookfield Property. I've continued to have conversations with them Friday, this week. Obviously working very closely with Councilmember Chin, who's kind of lead to some degree on the local problem. I think the key thing is for us to get a clear understanding of what the nature of the problems are, and then have conversations with the protesters about what can be done about them, and hopefully strike some compromise that better meets everybody's needs. At the end of last week, there was a meeting with elected officials representing the protesters, and that dialogue is ongoing, and we will keep people up to date as we have anything specific to report.
Yesterday, Councilwoman Chin said that there basically been no progress, and she was really losing hope that this could be done. Have there actually been any conversations with the protesters?
We heard that from Margaret yesterday. Was obviously very concerned. There were some conversations at the end of last week, and obviously there will have to be more based on what Councilmember Chin has raised.
Is there any reason why you wouldn't go down there and visit them?
Just it isn't on the schedule right now. That's not to say it would never be on the schedule.
Christine, you mentioned about some of the big ideas that could be maybe developed as far as
You make me very nervous. You're going to write on the
Sorry, about bringing manufacturing to New York. In next month, there'll be a high-speed rail conference, and just a couple weeks ago, there was a transit manufacturing conference in Brooklyn Navy Yard. What are the chances of bringing back some of that manufacturing for transit to New York?
Well, I can't speak to that specifically, but obviously love to hear more of the conference, maybe have staff attend it. I think, look at the success of the 5-borough ferry service we've started. We're seeing more demand on the East River Ferry than we ever thought, more demand on ferry in addition to whether it's making the boats or making the trains, puts people to work operating those services. So it's obviously an interesting area, an area we'd like to learn more about.
How will you finance?
Yeah.
A lot of big economists say that the mayor's calling for 2% cuts, and a lot of big economists say that that's actually counterintuitive.
I think there are absolutely a lot of economists who say cutting budgets can be counterintuitive. Having an unbalanced budget if you're a municipality is worse than having to cut. Now, I think the question of whether or not cutting is a negative for the economy is a question that is best answered and directed at the federal government. They're the only branch of government that can print money. We have to be balanced every quarter in the tightest government accounting principles. The same economists who say cutting budgets is not good for the economy will also say that raising taxes is not good for the economy. So it is a balance at any given time, but it's certainly a point that I'm going to continue to raise strongly and loudly with representatives in Washington who are the best ones who can help us with that.
Okay, last question is, do you feel it has a better chance of passing on the state level, the federal level? Do you feel like that should be...
My sense is that it doesn't have a very good chance on the federal level at all, but obviously others could speak better to that, and I think it's certainly a debate we're going to see happen again on the state this year.